Hello, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot here. Um, I'm coming at you with a follow up on the last video I did about the fires in Hawaii and Maui. Came across some interesting information here that it's actually very disturbing. Um, I was watching a YouTube channel who I've been subscribed to for a minute. He goes by Cinnamon Shogun, and he said some interesting things about uh, we're not being told what's going on in Maui or things that happened before the fire happened. Supposedly, um, there's a lot of children missing. And the reason for that, which is kind of sickening to think about, is that school was canceled the day of the fire before the fire hit. And the reasoning behind that was because of the gusty winds from that supposed hurricane. So they decided to cancel school. But when they canceled school, a lot of the school children that went home, their parents had to go to work. So they went about their business. And then the fire hit. They're not saying that on the mainstream media. And it kind of makes sense that something like that children are missing because of what happened. Unless there's another reason why they're missing. But let's just keep it at the fact that it was due to the fire. The last video I put out was from one of the residents in Hawaii who was very upset and made a comment about how Maui has been, how can I say, that there have been people wanting to buy Maui because the property's worth billions of dollars. And trying to put all this together, it makes you wonder why there's been some aid, yes, but it makes you wonder why our higher political officials are not going there. I mean, Oprah Winfrey tried to go with a camera crew, and she was basically told to get off the fucking island. I'm sure that everybody has seen what Joe Biden did when they asked him about Hawaii while he was trying to leave to get to his getaway beach house in Delaware, and he smirked and said, "No comment." No comment. He didn't even go and approach the camera. And if nobody believes me, here's the tape.
Will you come talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
Why wouldn't he want to talk about it? Why would he have a smirk on his face? What kind of a person smiles at a question like that when you know what's been going on? But let's go back to the video. You guys need to hear something. Now pay close attention to what one of the natives says of what happened, or I should say something that happened after the fire. Now this death toll has reached over 100, but there's the natives, the people. When I mean natives, I mean the people that live in Hawaii. You know, the residents said that that number's false. That it could be thousands. Supposedly, there's only about 13,000 residents that live in Maui. There's a couple saying that one of their friends who survived said that his whole neighborhood burned down, and most of the people that died was mostly kids because they were home from school. They were sent home from school. So this number right here, not that it's false, is just not the full number so far. And I understand they're still looking through the rubble and trying to see who was able to, get out alive. But pay attention. And I'm very surprised that the media is not pushing more of it. A lot of people didn't just die in the fire. A lot of people died in the ocean, jumping over the seawall trying to get away. People died in their cars trying to drive away. Cars were exploding. But let's continue.
Some of the things that's already been happening is realtors are calling families who lost everything, offering them to buy their property and their home for pennies on the dollar, just pennies on the dollar. So it's pretty offensive to us that people won't even give us the time to grieve properly.
Did you guys hear that? Real estate agents, real estate companies, these people have not even stopped, haven't even started. So, I mean, they're suffering, but they haven't even truly started suffering because everybody's in so much shock of how quickly this happened. People are still probably trying to get their minds together, get their bearings straight, still trying to find out which family member was where. And in my last video, the kid that was talking was saying how outside influence have been trying to buy Maui and is worth billions of dollars. That they even said, and it's on video, where they wanted to make Maui the first, the first AI city where everything will be digital. A property like that for all these high-tech companies will be worth hundreds of billions of dollars worldwide. Now, I'm not saying that somebody started this fire. Let me rephrase that. Obviously, the powers that be are going to try to capitalize on this tragedy. If the people of Maui are saying they've never seen something like this before, they've had gusty winds before, they've had hurricanes, they've had all kinds of stuff, but they've also have live volcanoes. What made this fire so much more different? Where did the fire start exactly? Why only that part of Hawaii? Did somebody capitalize on the wind blowing and say, you know what, this is the perfect time to start a large fire? And to have people coming from the outside? The residents of Maui have been fighting against big corporations to not give up their land. I want everybody to think about that. But let's continue some more. Did you see that? It destroyed the city of Lahaina. That is one of the spots that kid in my last video talked about.
First necessity we have, of course, was water. Our water system was shut down at the time, so we gathered up bunches of water, juices, sodas. We have fresh fruit from all over the island here. Papayas, bananas, fresh breadfruit. This is a big staple for us Hawaiians.
The governor says that assistance now has been increased. Supposedly Biden signed off on giving $700 per family that was affected. $700 per family. Meanwhile, he's asking Congress to send Ukraine another $24 billion. And there's a video floating around the internet of a big party, okay, going on, a big, like a swimming pool party going on in Kiev. Don't know when the video was taken, but supposedly it's supposed to be as of recent. And all it is dozens upon dozens of women in bikinis. And my thing is this: how true is what's happening in Ukraine? Because we all see what's happening here in Hawaii. But why isn't Biden in Hawaii? Why isn't Kamala Harris in Hawaii? Why isn't any politician right now headed to Hawaii on either side of the aisle? Why are these people walking through their neighborhoods? It looked like it got hit with a nuclear blast. And Biden's going to smirk and say no comment while he goes off on vacation again? These are Americans. This is one of our states. Hawaii is one of our 50 states. I'm not understanding where people are getting off doing what they're doing by not really getting engaged in what's going on in Hawaii. But let's continue some more.
The recovery from this tragedy is proceeding, and it's proceeding extremely vigorously. As you know, the tragedy occurred on the 8th, late. Immediately, we asked for support, and the world has stepped up. Our communities have stepped up, and before I go too far, I want to say how much we appreciate those who supplemented the things that we were unable to do in the early days.
Now, I'm confused with this. He says the tragedy occurred on the 8th of August, late. Well, how could that be if they sent the kids home from school, which means that school is during the day, and there was supposedly a lot of kids alone in their houses because their parents or whoever was at work? And that's why so many children are missing. This is all very confusing. And people need to pay attention and start, if you know anybody in Hawaii, I know of 2 people. I haven't spoken to them in years, so I wouldn't know how to get in contact. I wouldn't know how to get in contact with them or what part of Hawaii that they live. But, I mean, Hawaii is not just some island off that nobody, you know, you got to make reservations and get a passport and you got to wait and you come back and you don't know anybody. No, Hawaii is one of our states. Those are our people. Those are Americans. I'm just surprised that every organization, FEMA, the Red Cross, whoever on Capitol Hill, I'm not understanding why they're not all there. I'm not understanding that. Biden's a fucking clown. He doesn't give 2 flying fucks about America or their people anyway. So, you know what? In my eyes, he's irrelevant. He's always been irrelevant. He's not the real fucking president anyway. He stole the election. But let's not get into that again. So, but I'm just throwing that in because you know what? It doesn't surprise me. He doesn't go anywhere when there's a tragedy. they capitalize on it, but yet you see MSNBC, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say them, but the mainstream media, not just MSNBC, but they're trying to blame this on climate change. Could it be that it was just the perfect timing for something like this to happen? You had strong winds, a small fire came out, and it just took effect? Yes, it's not climate change. Perfect timing, if anything, not climate change. I still find it suspect, though. But why with the climate change agenda all of a sudden? Let's continue.
Days.
I'll leave you guys with one more video to this, and we'll see where this goes in the next few days, few weeks, few months. But I want everybody to pay attention and keep a close eye out on what's going on in Hawaii, because something here doesn't smell right, and something here seems like it's gonna get worse for the survivors of this fire in Hawaii. But here you go.
Lilia Luciano joins us now from Kula. Lilia, what are you hearing about plans to rebuild at this point?
Oh, well, that is a long ways away, Wendy, Errol. It's good to hear you both. One thing that I'll tell you, yesterday we got an opportunity to spend some time with some residents here in Kula. They were a group of neighbors who say that they ignored evacuation orders, which of course is something that officials tell people never to do in any situation like this and any catastrophe. But they said that they stayed behind. They started putting out a fire. They say that they were able to save their own block, that if they hadn't stayed there and put about 10 hoses together and worked together, their homes would have been destroyed. And we started talking about, what their concerns were looking into.
Just on that right there, I still stand by it. I'm not understanding how the first responders, I'm not understanding how nobody was there to fight this fire. I mean, I understand that it happened so fast, but did you mean to say that nobody was on the alert? It just doesn't make sense. But let's continue.
Into the future. And one thing that some of them talked about, and something that other residents have been very vocal about, is concerns over gentrification, over permanent displacement of the people here in Lahaina and in the areas that were lost or that were burned. That's something that is because Hawaii and several of the towns in Hawaii have become incredibly expensive for residents. So the people in Lahaina who lost their homes, some have been reporting, and we haven't confirmed this, but on social media, people have been reporting that some realtors, real estate developers might have reached out and tried to buy their homes. That's, of course, something that we'll continue reporting on and we'll try to corroborate, but that's always a concern in catastrophes like these, that somebody might want to come and take advantage of those in a vulnerable situation. There's also concerns that people who've had generational homes, even if they do get some of the insurance money down the road, that might not be enough for the cost of living at this point. So the governor has been saying, we will make sure to rebuild, and that the people from Lahaina will not be displaced, will not lose their homes. But many people who cannot afford or can't compete with the mainland new homeowners or secondary homeowners or Airbnb owners in the area are already concerned that this might be the end for them. And I talked to somebody who lost his grandmother, whose grandmother lost her property at the campfire in Paradise. And he was telling me, look, many of those people didn't go back, and that's a big concern here, that people here might not go back to their homes. And many of them are natives who've lived in historic Lahaina for a very long time.
Yeah, Lilia.
Now, with that being said, there's a big controversy going on, like I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying. A lot of people, certain people have been eyeballing certain parts of Hawaii for a very long time. You know, there was a hurricane in Florida one time, and everybody was trying to pick up the pieces, and they found some gas stations that were gouging the prices on gallons of water, gasoline, all kinds of stuff. And the governor at the time put out a law, well, whatever you want to call it, decree, law, whatever. He just basically told everybody that if anybody is caught trying to capitalize off the tragedy of the hurricane, price gouging, whatever have you, it'll be a felony. You're going to get locked up. Right now, that's what the governor of Hawaii needs to do. And tell every outside entity, if you're not going to come here to help rebuild, help the people, if you're just here to capitalize off of it, stay the fuck off the island. Plain and simple. And he has the power to do it. Joe Biden needs to get off his fucking bicycle, get off the beach that he loves to go frequent on, and get his ass to Hawaii and show those people that he cares, if he even truly fucking cares. My prayers go out to everybody in Hawaii. I'm True Outlaw Patriot. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.